You're listening to LOA Recon with the Good Vibe Coach Jeanette Ma, where we dissect the ins and outs and the art and science of conscious creation, all intended to amp up your manifesting game. Let's have some fun together. Welcome, and thank you for tuning in for another episode. I'm thinking if I'm quiet, you might be able to hear our special guest today. Can you hear that, Mama Kitty? Ooh, yeah, this is my mom. Remember the supposedly feral mom? She turns out to be one of the best lap cats I've ever had. She decided to join me in the recording studio today, a.k.a. the bedroom closet. Oh, she just rolled over and opened the door. Mom, we got to keep that closed. Come here. Oh, she's just happy to be here. She's rolling all around. Okay. Oh, I wanted to give a shout out of thanks to Barbara, who sent a lovely note that reads, I just wanted to thank you for your wonderful audios. I'm an avid listener of your podcast. They really help. Your energy is contagious. Thank you, thank you. Keep up the wonderful work. You know what I love about that note, Barbara? It's all exclamation points. There's not a period in there. Yeah, I like that enthusiasm. Thank you, Barbara, and thank you, everyone who sends me nice notes. I really appreciate that. I'm going to close this door, because I think she intends to stay here. Oh, yeah, she intends to stay here. Hopefully, she's not going to make too much noise wandering around here. Okay. Oh, yeah. So, here's what's been on my mind lately. It's a lot of water here. My first ebook was about praying rain. It was about pray rain journaling. It's a manifesting method where you write a page a day about what you want as if it's already happened. It's a fabulous way to come into alignment with your desire. In fact, the way I learned it was if you write a page a day about what you want as if it's already happened, by the time you get to the end of your journal, you'll either have it or it'll be so close you can reach out and touch it. And the first time I ever used it, it happened within like an hour and a half later. It was amazing. Okay, maybe it was 2 hours later, but it was same day. It was so cool. I love that. I learned it from Catherine Miles, but I think the term praying rain, I don't know where she learned it, but Greg Braden talks about it too, where he learned from his Native American friend about how to make it rain. That's not the story I wanted to tell in this episode, but I do kind of have I have a thing with, praying rain, okay? So I always thought of money and clients as my manifesting forte. And the truth is probably love prospects are my actual forte, but that's always been true even before law of attraction. It's probably just a Libra sun thing, but money and clients, I cultivated those consciously using manifesting methods. So when it comes to praying rain, though, I literally wrote the book on it. It seems like something that I should be good at. It turns out I am. I'm only talking about praying rain because it seems like rain and water sort of have my name on them. All right, let me go back. So I don't know. Is this the first year my state's been in an extreme drought? I don't know if we were in an extreme drought or just a severe drought. Last time, there are 5 levels to drought. We're at the second highest. Like several other states in the western U.S., we're at extreme drought. It's the only level higher than this is exceptional drought. So water matters. And Trisha at GVU, at Good Vibe University, she hosts almost every week a scripting call where members can join in and we talk about what we want as if it's already happened, right? Pray Rain Journaling is where you write about it, but on Trisha's scripting calls, we're speaking about it. And my goal when I join in those is to tell it so well that you couldn't even tell it was a script. It just sounds like a normal conversation of me talking about something super cool that happened. I want it to be natural, really organic in my voice, not like a memorized affirmation. Although, look, I'm not knocking memorized affirmations. I love those. I use those almost every day. But for scripting, I just want it to sound like the way I would talk naturally. Actually, you know what? That's how I like my affirmations to sound too, the way I would talk naturally. Like, holy, Hannah, I make a lot of money. Something like that. So anyway, on Trisha's call not too long ago, I scripted an abundance of water and thriving. I might have mentioned this to you already because I did it twice. The first time I scripted something along the lines of how my yard evolution was amazing because I was introducing some, new water-friendly elements and such. I talked about what a great spring and summer we had weather-wise. We had lots of rain. It was easy irrigating. The pasture was nice and green. The horses were loving it, et cetera, et cetera. And then the water came, and that was fabulous. And on Trisha's last call, I was like, dang, that thing works so well. I'm going to script some more cool stuff. And I did, but I also included water because water still matters to me. So I scripted about how great the yard looks. Everything was blooming. Everything was growing and thriving. And then more water came. In my extreme drought state, well, the water didn't come to the whole state. It didn't even just come to my neighborhood. It came to me. It came to my yard. It's not like everyone was having it, even those who lived right next door to me. Oh, and here's how that happened. So, a cool thing happened. First of all, the irrigation. So I have shares. This property came with shares in the canal. This cat's sitting at my lap. She's being so good. So good. Harvey would be nervous if she were here. Harvey's out on a walk right now. So that's why she's here, because Harvey doesn't get super comfortable around her. He's getting way better. Okay. We're not talking about animals. We're talking about irrigating. Yeah. All right. So, I hadn't been really needing, when I first got here, they told me, you're just better off not even using your irrigation shares for a wide variety of reasons. They had a long list why it was going to be hard to use those. And you know what? Even if I wanted to use them, it was really hard to because of so many things. I'm not even going to repeat those things. It was hard. I basically didn't do it. All that I did was, I had a boyfriend at the time who, he put together a system of pipes so that I didn't have to flood irrigate. I could just, when it was my turn for water, turn on a pump and the water would flow straight to the trees where I wanted it. And that worked great for a number of years, especially because last year, I think it was, the guys, because there's a schedule. You can't just turn it on anytime. It's your turn. And someone had said, hey, people have been known to get a shovel to the back of the head up here for stealing water. So you don't take water when it's not your turn. Water's a big deal up here. So the water schedule mattered, and they would never give me the schedule. They would just never they would never tell me. They'd say they would. And I would make phone. I would never get the schedule. Okay, last year, the water master told me, just take it whenever you see it. If it's there and you want it, just take it. His thinking was, you're just taking it from a pump. You're not pulling that much. They don't care that much. So just take it whenever. Okay, well, he said that. A couple other water guys, they were not down with that plan. But that's what I did last year. Okay, this year's a new story because now I've got horses on a pasture. We need water on that pasture. It's growing their grass. So the irrigation has to work differently. And that meant resolving all those problems before. And it actually worked out really well. It worked out so incredibly well. First of all, I don't know how much backstory you need. I'm just going to say, bunch of fabulous guys came over with heavy equipment. They dug out my head gates, probably better than they've ever been before. Because even when I bought this property, the head gates were not in this good a shape. So now the irrigation is even more efficient, more effective than it was before. They didn't give me a schedule. You know what? They didn't give me a schedule, but they basically I'm supposed to get it every 10 days for 6 hours. They basically he texts every 6 or 7 days and says, hey, if you want water, go ahead and take it. And he doesn't even care how long. Because I don't need 6 hours worth of water. It turns out that's way more water than we need, way more. But they're really relaxed about it. Really, really relaxed, but generous amounts of water. So the irrigation is working really well. Plus my guy's out there. He knows how to work this. He's irrigated before, so he knows, how to direct it. You've got a trench here and little whatever he's doing out there. I don't know what he's doing out there, but he's making it work really well. We've got so much water. He was directing some of the overflow to the neighbor's pond. Well, it's not actually their pond, but they've been using it to water their lawn from when it gets really hot. So anyway, it's working out really well with the irrigation. And then, that's not the only thing bringing an abundance of water. Also, storms. Having plenty of storms, even though the forecast, well, I will look, because trust me, I know, use your resources. I will look before I water, before I irrigate, to see what the weather is. And it's only ever said, I might be exaggerating a little. Maybe one time there was water in the forecast that I waited for, but mostly it just says like the 10-day forecast, it's hot and sunny. Okay, the clouds appear. The clouds have been coming. And even I've got friends on the other side of the valley, the other side of the mountain too, that they don't get rain, even when I'm getting rain. Lots of rain, not just a little sprinkle, lots of rain. I'm having so much water. There's so much water. Yesterday, it had been dry for a while, and I thought, you know what, I think I'm just going to water using the normal system, the sprinkling system. So I did because, there was nothing in the forecast and we weren't supposed to get irrigation water for another 5 days. So maybe 4 days. So I watered through the sprinkling system, just did a short cycle. And then we got a text saying, hey, if you want to irrigate, you can. I just watered. I didn't water the pasture, so we needed to irrigate. So we did that, and I put some extra on the trees because when I just run it in the yard, the trees in the field don't get it. So it was still good. And I was about 2/3 of the way done with that when a storm rolled in, and it rained hard and it rained long. So there's a lot of water. There's so much water that yesterday I officially started wondering how much is too much water. Because I've planted drought-tolerant shrubs here. And I know from my master gardening class, it is possible to overwater things. They can die from too much water. And I'm not going to lie, I did find a couple mushrooms in the lawn. So there's a lot of water. And this is when I realized I've done it again. Yet again. I bet the last time I published an episode on this subject was maybe 2 months ago. I was focusing on the how, not the what. Because what do I care how much water falls? What I really want is something else. What I really want is for this land to thrive. I want nature to thrive. I want the plants and the animals. I want them to do well. I want to enjoy this environment. I just want to enjoy it at its best and be part of that. I want to be a cooperative component to nature thriving and enjoying it. And that's getting a little closer to the true desire, but I'm still not exactly there, right? Because I could be standing in nature's paradise and still be unhappy. Like everything around me could be thriving, and I could still not have what I want. And I know that because I've seen others do it, and I've done it my own self. Standing right there in the paradise, like even if I use this very example, it's possible to stand in this thriving nature, this thriving environment, and still be unhappy. Sometimes we're unhappy for different reasons. We're not focused on it. We're worried about something else, or sometimes we're worried that this won't last, or sometimes we feel guilty because we have it so much better than others. So I've just seen it enough times to know that it isn't automatic that I'm going to be happy when I'm enjoying thriving nature. That's still up for grabs. That's still up to me as to how I'm going to feel, even when I supposedly got what I said I wanted, which was thriving nature. So the true target here isn't an abundance of water so that nature thrives. That's not it. It's more like for me to thrive, for me to enjoy and to feel good and to be happy. And that's exactly what Abraham keeps trying to tell us, right? That the only reason we want anything is because we think we'll feel better when we have it. So we may as well focus on the true desire, which is to feel better, to feel good, to be happy. And I'm not saying that we stop focusing on the details that we think matter. I'm just saying, let's keep them in perspective. Let's be honest with ourselves. By that, I just mean highly aware of what we really want. If you've got a desire in mind that you've been working on manifesting, it might be worth asking yourself, what's the desire behind the desire? This episode will sound familiar. Like I said, this was a recent reminder. But here's a cool way to ferret that out. You can say what you want, and then at the end of it, tack on a so that, right at the end, right? And then finish that sentence. Like, I want best-selling status so that, or I want to experience true love so that, or I want to get 5 new clients, or lose 20 pounds, or discover financial freedom so that. And if you've got a so that answer, then do it with that, okay? So I want to lose 20 pounds so that I feel better about how I look, so that I can carry myself with more confidence in the world. I'm making this up. So that I can be less self-conscious or more present to what really matters in life, so that I can, make the most of my time here or whatever. Or maybe it's, I want to get 5 clients so that I feel successful in my business, so that I know this self-employment routine will really work, so that I can truly support my family doing what I love, so that, like, as long as you got to so that, keep going until you get to the very last one. Maybe it's, I want best-selling author status so that I know my work was good, so that I know they like what I created, so that I feel validated as a creator, so that I can feel satisfaction that I'm a good writer, so that I can know I'm valuable. I don't know where it ends. It's different for each of us. I'm making these up. Whenever you get to the end of your so that's, please include that in your manifesting. That's my point here. That's the true desire. And we can spend a lifetime focusing on the details we think matter so much, or we can be sure to include the parts that really do matter right up front. Like, I want water so that I can help, so that nature thrives in my area, so that I can enjoy it. And the animals and the insects can enjoy it too, so that everyone's doing well, so that I can feel like a good partner to this amazing world that we live in. So that, do I have any more after that? So that I can feel good about how I spend my time here. So that I can feel good, I can be happy. That's probably the heart of it, right? And I don't even have to script for that. Although scripting can be helpful if that's a foreign routine. That can be a nice ticket into it. But really, all I have to do is remember that that's what I was going for all along, feeling better, feeling happy, and then choose it now in whatever thoughts or actions help me feel that now. That's all I got to do. Isn't this easy? We got a pretty cool system to work with when we're using it the way we're able to. So I hope this is an inspiring reminder. Mama Kitty and I say thanks for listening. Happy manifesting, everyone.